Oh, hello, and welcome to today's episode. The last video I made, I kind of came out about how I have lost 100 pounds. I mentioned my food addiction in that video, but in today's video, I really wanted to concentrate on my food addiction or food addiction in general. Food addiction is not really taken seriously at all whatsoever. A lot of people, when they think of eating disorders, they think of losing weight, being too thin, anorexia, not eating, bulimia, throwing up, binge eating disorder, etc. However, another eating disorder is food addiction. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe the difference between food addiction and binge eating disorder is binge eating disorder, you binge eat and then you restrict. And it's a pattern like that. You eat a ton and then you restrict. Food addiction is being literally addicted to food. So it's kind of like binging all the time or feeling the need to binge all the time, extreme, uncontrollable cravings for food. It's an addiction, like anything else, like with drugs. I feel like it's not talked about a lot. It's not taken seriously. I feel like people are like, oh, I'm so addicted to food. But they don't really realize that you actually can be very addicted to food. All right. Okay. Because I'm not. So for me and many other people, I was addicted to heroin. I then got on methadone. I was addicted to methadone. And when I got off of those, I really turned to food. I kind of transferred that addiction in drugs to food. And I began treating food like a drug. I would get such bad cravings that literally felt uncontrollable. To the point where, like, if I was craving ice cream, I had no money, no car, and it was raining outside, I would go out and search for change, walk to the store, and get ice cream. It was like drugs. It was like an addiction to heroin. It was literally that bad. Being addicted to food felt like you weren't in control of your own body. It felt like you literally were being controlled by food. And when those cravings came, like, your mind like leaves your body and you have no control over what you're doing, and you just eat and eat and eat and eat, and then finally you're so full you're gonna puke. And it's like that moment when you realize how full you are, at that moment your mind re-enters your body and you realize, holy fuck, what did I just do? Then after that, you're met with shame, guilt, depression. Being addicted to food means hiding food, hiding that you're eating, sneaking food, eating in private. I mean, you can eat in public too, but for a lot of people, they feel shamed. And I know me, for one, I'd eat in front of people, but I wouldn't want to eat the amount of food I actually eat in front of people. I would lie. I'd go to a restaurant and act like I'm ordering, like I'd go to Subway. I'd order 2 or 3 footlongs and I would say, oh, they're for my friends, you know, my boyfriend and my roommate or something like that. I'd feel so embarrassed the fact that I'm ordering 2 or 3 footlongs for myself that I would sit there and I'd look at my phone and be like, oh, I guess they want banana peppers on that one. And it was all for me. Being addicted to food in the way that I was addicted to it, at least, was not a fun thing. It was a miserable thing. My mental health was so bad. I would isolate. I didn't want to be seen by anyone because all I wanted to do was eat. I just wanted to sit at home and eat. Every day after work, I looked forward to getting off work and going home and stuffing my face until I passed out. All my days off, I would prepare for them the night before by going to the store and stocking up on probably what's for a normal person like a week's worth of groceries, and I would eat it all in my 1 or 2 days off. It's like this compulsion. Like you have it, you have to do it, you have to eat it. It's like you can't eat without wanting to get super full to the point where you're sick. Being addicted to food, for me, was fucking miserable. All I thought about was food. People who were like, oh, I forgot to eat today. Oh, can't relate, because I literally have not stopped thinking about what I'm going to eat next since the last time I ate. It was just like this horrible cycle that I was in, and I'm really trying to explain how bad it is because, like I said, I think food addiction is something that is laughed at. I think it's something that's scoffed at. I think it's something that people don't believe. People just think, oh, you're just fat, and you just want to eat because you're fat. Just stop eating. Just stop eating. Oh, you want cake? Just don't eat it. It's as easy as that. And it's not at all. I mean, it's an addiction. I've been addicted to heroin before, and I'm telling you guys that food addiction is fucking real. If anything, it's actually almost worse than heroin addiction because food is everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's food. That's like you going to work and there being like heroin around you. Then you go to the store and there's like heroin all packaged, all pretty and like advertised well and like nice to sell. And then also like you need food to survive. That's like having to only do a little bit of heroin a day, but not overindulge. But then it's everywhere around you. It's hard. It makes it really difficult. And then you want to talk about physical withdrawals. Well, they might not be as intense as heroin by any means. You still do feel different when you start eating less. And the more you eat, it's almost like the more your body expects to get. So it's like you start feeling dizzy sooner. Like when I used to eat constantly all the time, I start feeling dizzy after like 3 hours of not eating, or like weird or shaky. Now I don't get that anymore at all. It's like, and then like it slowly went away and became more and more time that I could go without eating. Like it is weird. I've been fat my whole life. I've always loved food. I've always loved to eat, but I would never call it an addiction. When I got on methadone to get off of heroin, the cravings for sweets were just so bad. I didn't want to eat anything else. The first year I was on methadone, I ate two tubs, I don't think they're gallons, I think they're like 3/4 gallons technically, of Blue Bunny mint chocolate chip ice cream a day. 2 tubs. And sometimes I would also get one of those like triple layer chocolate cakes that they have at like Walmart in like the frozen food section. And I'd eat the whole cake and both tubs of ice cream. And I wouldn't eat anything else. I wouldn't eat anything savory. I wouldn't eat any like fast food. No, literally just the ice cream and just the cake every single day for a year. At the end of that year, I realized I had gained over 100 pounds. And I slowly started to realize, like, damn, maybe I should start eating, like, actual food. But eventually, maybe my body got used to the methadone, because methadone does make you crave sweets. And also, just quitting drugs in general will make you crave sweets, because your body and your brain is craving that burst of dopamine from something else, and you do get that from sugar. So after about the first year, I started eating other foods, and but I would still eat like a gallon of ice cream a day, plus other foods. My weight kept fluctuating, mainly kept gaining, sometimes stay the same, sometimes lose a few pounds. I went through a really long cycle where I would binge eat like crazy, and then I would try to diet for like a month, and I would lose like 10, maybe 15 pounds. And then I would immediately start eating again. I think it was probably like 2014 or so. I got an app called My Net Diary, and I started putting in how many calories I was eating a day, because I wanted to just see, okay, I'm gonna slowly taper my calories down, so let's just see what I would actually eat in a day. So the fact that I knew I was counting how many calories I was eating, I was purposely eating less, and it would still be about 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day. When I got off methadone in 2017, 3 years ago, that's when my food addiction really hit an all-time high, or an all-time low, whatever. It got really bad. I think it's because there was no methadone anymore even. And I quit cigarettes too, because I was smoking like almost 2 packs a day when I was on methadone. So I quit methadone and cigarettes right around the same time, and I really turned to food. At that point, from 2017 on, I really stopped even trying to restrict. I just craved it too much. That was when it got so bad that if I had to guess, I was eating about 10,000 calories a day. I would never try to diet, and all I did was eat. I stopped talking to everyone. I isolated myself. I literally just went to work and ate. That's literally all I did. It was controlling my life. Now, I want to talk really fast about a little bit about the psychology of addiction. There's a reason why certain people are so prone to addiction and others aren't. I believe, and many researchers and scientists believe, that the answer lies in a study that was done called Rat Park. This study first contained a rat in a cage with 2 bottles of water. 1 bottle of water was just regular water, while the second bottle was laced with heroin. Now, the rat was in a cage by itself with just the 2 bottles of water, and of course, every time it chose the heroin water, And every time it would continue drinking the heroin water until it overdosed and died. At first they thought, well, that's it. That's addiction right there. But then they thought, what if we put other stuff in the cage? He's in there. He's alone. He has nothing to do. Of course he's going to go to the heroin water when there's nothing else to do. So they built what they called Rat Park, which was this big like cage, I guess. And it had wheels and cheese and tubes and tunnels. And there was lots of other rats in there so they could like have friends, and there was all kinds of stuff for a rat to do in there. And then they also again put the 2 bottles of water, one regular water, one laced with heroin. And this time when the rats had so much to do and other friends and stuff, they never chose the heroin water. This study shows above anything else that humans are based on their connections, especially with other people. Humans are meant to bond. Bonding to a human brain, to the psychology of a human is very, very important. Having healthy bonds and healthy relationships in your life is vital to having a healthy state of mind. When a human can't find those healthy and stable relationships in their life, they'll try to bond with other stuff. They'll try to bond with work or with a hobby. When they can't find anything like that, they'll turn to drugs or food or shopping or gambling. But all humans want to bond. So that study's basically saying when you have nothing else going on in your life, you don't have healthy relationships, people around you, or stuff you're passionate about or stuff to do like that, you're gonna bond with something, and probably in an unhealthy way as an addiction. So now, backtracking back to me, I was very depressed. I felt like I could not learn to love the body I was in, and I was so addicted to food, and it was making me so miserable that in January of 2019, I just said, fuck it, finally, and I decided to just start loving myself. Just fake it till you make it. Just start giving myself a little bit of love. I would never let myself wear the clothes I wanted to wear. I've always loved fashion, and I had so many cute clothes, and I wouldn't let myself wear any of them. So I decided to let myself go out, wear cute clothes, take pictures of myself, feel good about myself. That snowballed into me starting to model, and my Instagram growing, and body positivity becoming a big part of my life, and fat positivity. Throughout the year of 2019, I finally learned to love myself, and I got so comfortable with myself. I started making friends, and I started having a social life, and I stopped isolating myself, and I started going out more and doing stuff I liked and stuff I was passionate about. I had my Instagram, I had modeling, I had collabs with brands that I loved. You know, like I was doing YouTube videos. I had things I was passionate about. I was also moving up in my job and working really hard at that. And then on top of that, I actually finally had some friends, and I actually finally was going out and having fun with my life. All these positive things in my life really started catching up to me probably in about like October of 2019. And throughout the months after October, I just kind of started to realize like, wow, I forgot to eat today. Weird. Never, ever thought I would do that. I started to eat less when I did eat. My cravings for food became way less. Like I was not craving literally nearly as much all of a sudden. My relationship with food just started to get so much healthier. I think because the rest of my life was so more fulfilled. By about December 2019, I realized I'd lost like 20 pounds. And that's when I really realized that my food addiction is really getting under control. And so I started, and in December of 2019, I started actively taking steps to gain more control over food. I started, paying more attention to what I was eating. I really paid attention to the psychology behind what I was eating and when I was eating. Why am I eating right now? Why do I feel hungry right now? Why do I want this? Or while I'm eating something, say like earlier today, I was eating a bag of that like skinny popcorn. It's like 100 calories a bag. And halfway through the bag, I was like, I'm going to eat another bag. And then I was like, wait, I don't think like that anymore. That's how I used to think. I started paying attention to what I was thinking as I was eating food. And I think when you do that, you can start to address problems that you have. Because we're all so different that we all have different problems. You have to really pay attention to the psychological reasons behind why you're eating, why you feel so addicted to what you eat, what foods you're so addicted to. You have to use all that to help yourself take steps towards gaining control over your addiction. So for me, the 100 pounds I lost was really kind of like a result of me trying to become more mentally healthy and gaining control over my very out of control addiction to food. And I just really want that to be understood. I never set out to lose weight in the beginning. I never did. My goal was never to be skinny. I still don't want to be skinny. Nothing against skinny people. It's just I am a fat girl and I love being a fat girl and I love being fat. But I do want my addiction to food gone and under control. And I do want a healthy relationship with food. And I want to be fit and active. And body positivity means that I could be fat and fit and active. I can still lose weight as a result of me becoming mentally healthy, as a result of me finding a healthy relationship with food, and I can still, go work out and be active and be fat at the same time, because that's what body positivity is all about. Body positivity says love yourself, be fat if you want to be fat, eat those fucking donuts if you want to eat those donuts, but your mental health comes first. And if your addiction to those donuts is bringing you shame and guilt and depression and is weighing on you mentally, then love yourself and try to change that. Don't lose weight just to look better, because that could just lead to more eating disorder habits or whatever. But, try to be healthy, try to be happy, try to be mentally sound. So anyway, now it's July 2020. I've lost 100 pounds. I haven't worked out at all. I want to start just because I do want to be healthier. When I was at my highest weight, which was 360 pounds, 360 pounds. I'm at 240 now, but I'm counting from 340, just because that's what I was mainly at. But when I was at my highest weight, even when I was at 340, 315 even, I had high blood pressure. I was very uncomfortable all the time. I felt like I couldn't breathe all the time. It was hard for me to walk around, do anything, I felt like. So I just want to be comfortable in my body. I want to be able to walk around without feeling like I can't breathe. I want to not worry about high blood pressure. With how much ice cream and cake I was eating, I was pre-diabetic. I want to not worry about diabetes anymore. So how I look is really the last thing on my mind. It's all about my health. And honestly, even more than my physical health, it's about my mental health, because I was seriously fucked up from my addiction to food. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of put this out there. I think anyone who has an addiction to food can hopefully relate. Let me know in the comments if you do. Maybe I'll talk about this more. But if you guys want me to make a video on what I do and what I did more in depth to overcome my food addiction, I will definitely do that. Just let me know in the comments down below. Also, I'm posting this to IGTV and my YouTube. A lot of people say my IGTV videos haven't been working, so hopefully this one does. Whichever you're on, please follow me, subscribe, like this video, talk to me in the comments, and keep watching. And I hope that you stay, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you don't think I'm not body positive anymore for losing weight.